How are you?
Hello, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Nice to meet you finally.
Pleasure's all mine.
Well,
Have a seat.
We spoke and emailed multiple times. I'm Mike from Original Stitch. I got all the custom shirts going for you here.
Yeah, absolutely. How's your trip up?
Long, tedious. The layover is just phenomenal as always, but it's worth it. So, David, tell me, what kind of sectors are you currently situated in terms of Universe? Like who are what's your bread and butter of the industry?
So, in all honesty, it's the blue collar sector. It is your Mr. Lube that you see down the street. It is like right now, one of our biggest contracts is actually with the University of Ottawa, Carleton University, and the Ottawa General Hospital. And we supply the janitorial services with their uniforms. Essentially, the guys working real hard jobs, uniform gets torn, ripped up. They still need to be able to show up on time, look professional, and get the job done.
Okay, so based upon that, you guys are heavily located in the blue collar world. However, what would you think if I was to suggest you should branch out into the admin world, like the more so the white collar workers? Like, is that something that you would like? You see Universe headed?
See, that's actually been quite a discussion, and I'll let you in on a little bit of secret. It's been quite a discussion amongst ourselves inside the company.
Okay.
There's mixed feelings because with that in mind, we're good at what we do, and we're pretty good at delivering on time, having the quality there. Our customers are quite satisfied. Now, in terms of actually bearing the workload of also providing a completely separate service, that's kind of the part of the debate. Are we going to be able to supply two different tiers? I mean, we're doing really well with one, but now in terms of a second product line, and exactly what would the use be? That's kind of the part where we provide very heavy-duty uniforms currently. They do the job down gritty, you can spill grease, whatnot. Right. It protects the worker. In terms of the administrator, and it's going to be completely different quality. And in terms of suppliers, right. The logistics of it, you can understand.
For sure, I get where you're coming from.
Get a little bit more intertwined.
Gotcha. So you listed off quite the amount of potential contracts you're thinking about in terms of going to the admin side of things. Now, we can go a little bit further with that. Like, would you be willing to explore further options such as the federal government, for example, or the Ottawa downtown core, if we're talking about the Ottawa region, since we met here today, your head office?
Yeah, with that in mind, we were, in all honesty, also looking at independent employers, such as call centers even,
okay.
Completely stepping outside of our bounds. Now, the part with that again is kind of having us have that, stopping us from taking that big step forward is having the reliability. This is a separate market. It is not the blue collar. It is the white collar. It is the part where we need to make a bash. We need to go in strong and deliver on time. And with that in mind, our blue collar side, the trusted customers that we have, we can't let them down. We don't want to bite off more than we can chew. Canada-wide, we have contracts everywhere, but exactly the same. What is the difference between you and I? Again, business guy to business guy. The blue uniform that the janitor at the local high school wears is the same uniform that the mechanic, just with a different patch, wears at Mr. Lube.
Right.
So we have the opportunity to order this in bulk. The part that has been hindering us is having the diversity for each independent white-collar sector. For example, whether it be commissionaires that we get a chance to supply, they have a different type of need than, for example, than your local secretary at a government building. And that is the part that ordering in such a mass and keeping new clients satisfied and having that diversity is the biggest stepping stone that we are looking to overcome.
Okay, so basically what I gather from that is that you need your on time in full.
Yes.
So you don't ever want to lose that at all, because of course a massive reputation such as University, the last thing you want to do is hinder that in any way, shape, or form. And you're looking for a quality supplier to branch out into the admin world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that in mind, are your current suppliers doing the job? Like, are they steady? So what you're seeking is basically pertaining to your suppliers is you want your consistency, you want your on time in full because UniFirst always does deliver quality and they always deliver on time. And naturally, they want to keep their customers happy. Um, but you're going to have a little bit of a challenge since, like you just mentioned earlier, you're trying to do the two different streams. And you're just having a hard time doing the whole logistics behind it, correct?
Exactly. Having such a strong bond and being in partnership with our suppliers for such a long time, it is very specific. They're good at what they do. And again, kind of a good business ethic is working together. Now we're looking to do something a little bit different. We're trying to get them to jump on board and see if they can adhere to our needs first and foremost. And again, that is another hurdle why we haven't jumped into it yet. And there's a variety of them. Then again, that is one of the reasons that I'm meeting with you today to explore our options.
Perfect. I appreciate hearing that. So, Dave, tell me how reliable are these suppliers of yours?
Um, they helped us get our company to where we're at, by all means. Then again, they are very busy.
Right.
We do have a strong relationship, but at the end of the day, kind of like any other relationship, it needs a little bit of work.
Okay.
Essentially, what I'm getting at is they're good at what they do. They've kept us happy, but that doesn't mean that they're foolproof. Um, right now, the biggest struggle that we're having with them is to come to terms with the fact that they need to be consistent, not necessarily on the quality of their work. Their quality is okay, but in terms of consistency of delivering that quality.
Oh.
There have been instances where, at one point or another, a shipment or two in a row to a new client has failed the needs and the promises that we have made to the client.
That would affect your contracts a little bit if I'm not mistaken?
Well, a little bit is an understatement in all honesty, because
really?
when it is an entire order that is being spread across the entire country and it is one bad egg, they're good at fixing the problem and trying to retract the orders, but sometimes the orders get there too fast.
Gotcha.
So for that reason, they're good at getting them on time, even sometimes too early, and the quality of the material is okay. But when there is a mistake, the mistakes are big.
Mm-hmm.
They're far in between, but they are big. And at the end of the day, dollar for dollar, they have cost us quite a bit.
Really?
And when it is coming to grow and again jump into a second market, we have this relationship established. Everything is there. The confidence isn't to break into a new market and promise more so than we can handle. Essentially, the damage control we're managing on one front, don't want to start doing it on a second.
Right. Wow, so that was actually a lot of information for me to absorb, because based upon what you said, if you have an inconsistent supplier, it can be very, very detrimental to UniFirst, not only in terms of keeping its happy customers happy, it's on time and full, and overall, like you said, if the quality is lackluster for that one order and they don't catch it in time, the customer is going to get a subpar shirt or an overall uniform, and I mean that's the last thing you really want happening at a hospital, or like as you were mentioning earlier, you really like to use the example of the lube guy at oil changers.
That's sorry. That's the first time I heard it put that way. Look, Mike, I'll be honest with you. You made a long trip down, and based on what our needs are and the fact that we want this company to grow. I've gone over your proposal. A lot of things I'm interested in it, and I'm interested towards pitching it to the executives.
Right, I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome.
How about I get you to reiterate that proposal that you sent me? Just essentially get down to the bare bones. What are you here for? How can you help me help you?
Help me help you. Okay, I like that. I haven't heard that one in a long time. That's really good.
I was watching, Dr. Phil, and
oh, nice. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Every now and again, overly boring.
Wife took over the TiVo.
Yeah, nice. Basically, Original Stitch, we make quality stuff. It's all, like you said, you ran over the proposal, so it's all handmade in Japan. We use the absolute finest of materials. We have options to make a potential of 1 billion shirts, so everybody has a lot of customizability at their fingertips. With that in mind, we do guarantee our deliveries. Like, especially now, since we're talking corporate and more of an industrial shipment amounts in lieu of somebody ordering 3-4 shirts at a time, which is a lot more manageable, and we can allow a longer delivery time. We will guarantee you that our shirts will be delivered to your warehouse within 10 days of you placing the order through your proxy or your sales guys in the various regions you have all over Canada.
Not to cut you off, I'm
That's
a
fine.
devil's advocate. What if they don't make it there? What's the guarantee give me?
That is never going to happen, but in the event that it does, we will credit you the amount for that shipment. Like, we will sell to you at cost at that point. Just as an act of goodwill and a gesture of doing business together, because unfortunately things do happen and there are inevitable factors. But like I said, we do guarantee that stuff, and it's going to get there, and I will make sure of it each and every time.
You better be on that boat rowing yourself, man.
I will definitely be doing that if that's what it comes down to. But like I said, in the event that the 1 in a million chance it does happen, we will grant you that entire shipment at our cost.
Okay.
So you're not out money, and this way you can transfer the savings, if you will, to your customers. Paid forward, if you will, with an act of goodwill all around.
Okay, that sounds like a fair enough. Got my curiosity. You've had my curiosity, and I've got my attention. Let's see them.
Perfect. I'm glad you say that, because I brought quite a few samples for you today. So prepare to be wowed. So here is the take on the standard generic white shirt, if you will. People can put patterns in them. We got the nice double stitching in the collar, along with the cuffs as well. And just feel that.
Wow, that is white. That is not eggshell. That is white. That is actually really nice as well. What's the thread count on this?
It's around 200, between 175 and 200, depending. Again, that's proportionate to one of the 300 materials you have.
Tell me you guys don't make bed sheets.
I wish we did. That'd be another awesome industry.
That's awesome. That's really actually quite universal. The design.
It's unique.
It's unique. Universal shirt, unique design.
That's it. That's what I have to say. Now, pastels seem to be in this year. I got a couple other samples. For those that want to keep it a little bit more simpler, with a little bit of plaid going.
Oh wow, this guy actually has some flex to it, eh?
Yeah, and it's pretty durable. It's very breathable.
So yeah, no, that's by all means that would help out my golf swing. I mean, this guy on here, it's a little bit tight. Gone through quite a few beers, that is. But no, I actually this is. I think it would bring out my eyes.
I think so too. You have lovely eyes.
Thank you.
And of course, just one more, just to mix it up. This one's a cross between the play and the work person that brings a little bit of fun into the office, but is always maintaining their professionalism at all levels and whatnot. Just mix it up, because white shirts and your plain blue or your solid colors get boring with time, right?
It's not an eyesore, that's for sure. This one actually matches your eyes, but you still have to buy me dinner. For sure, no, that's actually something you don't see actually here. You got the overstitching and making it classy yet durable. So those office parties can get pretty bad.
That's it. Yes, I can only imagine.
Live hard, play hard.
That's it.
All right, so let's get back to the bare bones of business. All right.
I'm all ears.
We have our suppliers. I told you some of the difficulties we're kind of facing.
Right.
With that in mind, it's not completely out of the picture that we can figure it out with them. We've been partnered up for quite a long time, and you can understand how far loyalty goes. We have set pricing with them and set expectations now. There have been shortcomings on both ends in terms of a partnership, but again, to grow, they can be overcome.
Right.
What are you willing to do in terms of the set pricing and the set budget? Again, we've been partners for a long time. We know what to come expect from our suppliers. We know the budget we're working with in terms of developing our business and growing, granted at the rate that we are.
Right.
But we are still growing. We are still number one, and the margins keep going up, and everything seems fine right now.
But it can always be better, yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Right now, for our retail level customers, we have our pricing that ranges between, say, $70 and $120. And of course, this is always proportionate to the amount of what kind of stitching you have, what kind of material, what kind of collars you want, what kind of cuffs, if you want any additional accessories, and if you want prettier buttons, metal versus plastic, etc., etc. As you can imagine, like I said, we have a billion choices. that
You
comes
get
with,
it done.
that comes with a billion different prices as well. However, our general range and rule of thumb we stick to is between $70 and $120. Now, for you, as a potential large corporate partner that moves quite a bit of volume, right off the bat, I'd be willing to tell you that 15% at minimum on those prices.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to make a note of it.
Okay.
But keep talking.
Yeah, so 15%. So right off the bat, in the event that we do going forward with this deal, so you do have a little bit of room to play with as well in terms of your own respective profits and whatnot. Like I said, we get the benefit of having you as a reseller, if you will. And we get our name out there through a large provider such as Universe, which is nation and continent-wide, if anything. But right now we're talking about Canada, but hey, down the road we can always merge into the American market.
So, Mike, as I was writing down the 15% off, I took a look, and I remember within the agreement proposal that you sent via email, you said that you're looking to sign up on a 3-year term.
Right.
Now, as you can understand, that is a long term, and is that 15% off from day one until 3 years later, or is that from day one until as a trial period, and how long is it? So let's get into the numbers.
Well, numbers-wise, we sat down with our finance guys over in our head office in Los Angeles, and we did a bit of number crunching. And for you, what we're basically going to do right now is the 15% is, like you said, a trial run. So what we're proposing is that you stick with us for 2 quarters, so half a fiscal year, to see how it goes. Let's get the ball rolling a little bit here. You try our shirts, you distribute them and whatnot. We'll stick with the 15% as an introductory offer, if you will, like those cheesy TV commercials.
Mm-hmm.
So if the numbers make sense for you, they make sense for us. However, in the event that all is well, which it should be and will be, and we go further on and you re-sign with us after the 6-month offering into the 3-year term, we can we'll play with those numbers depending on further projected volume and depending how far out and if there's any new undiscovered territories, both on Universe front and our front, of course, because numbers are always subject to change. You can't ever say that things are set in stone because people will have a better year or will have a worse year, right? We're here to work with you. You're helping us help you type thing.
See, this is my stance. I mean, I told you a lot about the kind of hurdles that we have to face. I like the product, not gonna lie. Really good product.
Glad to hear it.
I like you. You seem like a sharp guy, really easy to talk to. Everything's fine.
I try.
You're wearing your own product, so that tells me something else as well. I can tell, because that design did not come out of Mark's warehouse.
Oh, that's
But at the end of the day, we do have that steady relationship with our current suppliers. We are growing. That market, until reaching into the white-collar industry, the administrative world, we're going to get there one way or another, whether it be today or tomorrow. Not too stressing about it. I mean, to be blank with it, to be straight with you again, just as we've been this entire time, I'm just not entirely convinced. The trial period of the 15%, it's a lot of overhead. It's a lot of risk, especially going into this and not trying you guys out as a supplier.
Right. With that in mind, the whole premise of me even being here is the fact that there won't even be all that much overhead. You're saving on transportation costs because we're the ones that are eating that cost, so to speak. We make it, so everything that we make is coming straight from Japan. It's all in our warehouse, so those are our overhead costs. What you are getting is you're getting the final product. So you put an order tomorrow, we send it off same day, someone starts processing it, it starts getting stitched and put together, and next thing you know, within 2 to 3 days, it's all done, good to go, and it's already on a plane or a boat or what have you, on your way to your nearest depot. So say a guy in Vancouver orders it, it's going straight to Vancouver, it's going to go to your depot there, so it doesn't even stay in your warehouse for longer than, say, a few hours' time. Again, that depends on your logistics side of things, but in a utopia, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get it, and it's going to go right out on that big white and green Universe truck the next day, or even the same day, depending how you guys and how your sale guys' routes are organized. So I mean, you really have absolutely nothing to lose. You're not gaining any overhead.
Pretty much what I'm trying to say is we need to establish a trial period where we see you being able to deliver on time and in full.
Right.
I can take your word for it. I can see
Right.
the product.
Right.
I
You
need
wanna
to
see it
see
in
us
action.
working together, and 15% off at, let's say, $120 premium shirts, because at the end of the day, if we're going blue collar, we want to provide the best. That's what we are, the best. So we'd be looking mostly at your premium product. Now that's a large coin.
So you're really stuck on that 15%, eh? We did do some external math as well with our finance guys. In the event you were going to be a hard sell, which you're proving to be a little bit, I must admit.
Numbers don't lie.
This is true. And at the end of the day, when it comes to business, if it makes dollars, it makes sense, right? So realistically, for the 2 fiscal terms, like the 2 fiscal quarters, like I discussed earlier, as the trial period, what would you say if I was to offer you double that amount? So 30% off each shirt. Like, we're barely breaking even here, to be quite honest, but this is how committed we are to UniFirst as, you know, our number one choice for a supplier for our shirts.
That number
Is
is a little,
that- is it-
it's more appealing.
Oh, I could only imagine. I mean, the higher the number, when you're getting a discount, the better, right?
I have a counter proposition for you. Let's do 20%.
Okay.
Sorry. So 15. Sorry, you add on another 20%. So we're looking at 35% for the first 2 quarters, fiscal quarters.
Okay.
And we sign a 3-year term on the 3rd quarter,
Right.
and on the last year, you'll make up for your 2 at full cost.
Can't go wrong with that. That sounds phenomenal. So do we have a deal?
35% off first 2 fiscal quarters trial period. We don't sign anything. It's a trial period. We can
That's
terminate
it.
whenever.
That's it. That's all. You can terminate whenever. There's absolutely no commitment.
We
However,
sign.
in the event that we deliver, which we will, and then you deliver.
The
on
growth
time,
is there, then we
the
will
potential's
share.
there. Fantastic. So do we have a deal?
That is the deal.
Thank you
Let's
very
go get
much,
something to
David.
eat or a beer.